In the quiet undergrowth of open woodlands and grasslands, a sudden flash of blue cuts through the muted browns and greens. It is brief, almost unreal, like a fragment of sky fallen to the earth. This is the fairy wren, a bird so small that it could vanish between blades of grass, yet so visually striking that it seems impossible to ignore. In a world dominated by larger, louder creatures, the fairy wren survives not by force, but by strategy, cooperation, and constant awareness. The evolutionary history of the fairy wren is a story of specialization under pressure. Emerging in Australia and nearby regions, these birds evolved in landscapes where cover is limited and predators are everywhere. Rather than retreat into dense forests or take to the high canopy, fairy wrens adapted to life close to the ground. This decision shaped everything that followed: their size, behavior, social structure, and even their approach to reproduction. Physically, fairy wrens are among the smallest passerine birds. Their bodies are lightweight and delicate, built for rapid movement rather than sustained flight. Wings are short and rounded, allowing quick bursts of speed but limiting long-distance travel. This makes escape a matter of seconds rather than endurance. On the ground, their movements are quick and nervous, hopping rather than walking, always ready to vanish into cover. The most iconic feature of the fairy wren is its coloration, particularly in males during the breeding season. Brilliant blues, deep blacks, and contrasting patterns appear almost suddenly, transforming an otherwise modest bird into a living signal. This color is not permanent. Outside breeding season, males lose much of their brilliance, blending back into the environment. This seasonal transformation is not vanity, it is survival. Visibility attracts mates, but invisibility avoids death. Female fairy wrens and non-breeding males remain more subtly colored, their brown and gray tones offering camouflage among grasses and shrubs. This difference between sexes reflects a calculated balance between reproduction and risk. In a world where predation is constant, standing out is dangerous, yet reproduction demands visibility. The fairy wren solves this problem through timing rather than compromise. Despite their size, fairy wrens are not solitary. They live in complex social groups built around cooperation. These groups typically consist of a breeding pair and several helpers, often offspring from previous seasons. These helpers assist with nest defense, feeding chicks, and maintaining territory. This system increases survival rates in an environment where individual effort is rarely enough. Communication within these groups is constant and nuanced. Fairy wrens use soft contact calls to maintain cohesion and sharp alarm calls to signal danger. One of their most remarkable behaviors is the use of specific alarm calls to indicate different types of predators. A threat from the air triggers a different response than a threat from the ground. Such vocal precision reflects advanced cognitive processing in a very small brain. Feeding behavior is equally refined. Fairy wrens are insectivores, foraging continuously throughout the day. They search leaf litter, stems, and low branches for small insects and spiders. Foraging is rarely still. Even while feeding, the bird's head snaps upward repeatedly, scanning for movement. Every meal is taken under the assumption that it may be interrupted. Nesting is an exercise in concealment. Nests are built low, hidden within dense shrubs or grass tussocks. Materials are woven tightly, forming compact structures that blend seamlessly into their surroundings. Even so, nest failure is common. Predators such as snakes, birds, and small mammals constantly test these defenses. Survival depends on redundancy rather than certainty. Multiple breeding attempts spread across time. Reproduction in fairy wrens defies simplistic notions of monogamy. While social pairs form and cooperate in raising young, genetic studies have revealed frequent extra-pair mating. This strategy increases genetic diversity while maintaining social stability. It is not betrayal, it is biology operating under pressure. Throughout their lives, fairy wrens exist in a state of alertness. There is no moment of complete safety. Even rest is fragmented, taken in short intervals, often with one individual acting as lookout. This constant vigilance defines their existence and shapes their behavior more than any other factor. Yet despite this tension, fairy wrens persist. Their populations remain stable in many areas, a testament to the effectiveness of their strategy. They do not outrun predators. They do not overpower rivals. They endure through intelligence, cooperation, and timing. As seasons shift and landscapes change, the fairy wren adjusts with subtle precision. Drought reduces insect abundance, forcing longer foraging hours. Heavy rains alter nesting sites, demanding relocation and rebuilding. Each challenge is met not with resistance, but recalibration. Flexibility, rather than strength, defines survival. Predation remains the dominant pressure. Birds of prey scan from above, while snakes move silently through grass below. Fairy wrens respond with layered defenses, early detection, rapid escape, and group coordination. Alarm calls ripple through vegetation, triggering immediate, collective response. In moments, an entire group can disappear. The role of helpers becomes most visible during these crises. Additional eyes increase detection. Additional bodies increase feeding efficiency. This cooperative system allows breeding pairs to produce more offspring than they could alone. In evolutionary terms, helpers benefit indirectly by ensuring the survival of shared genetic material. Ecologically, fairy wrens serve as regulators of insect populations. Their constant foraging influences plant health and insect dynamics at a micro scale. Though small, their cumulative impact across landscapes is significant. They are threads in a fabric that holds ecosystems together. Human presence has altered their world in complex ways. Habitat fragmentation removes cover, increasing exposure. Domestic animals introduce new threats. Yet fairy wrens sometimes benefit from managed landscapes, gardens, and reserves that provide shelter and food. Once again, adaptability defines outcome. There is something quietly profound in the fairy wren's existence. Beauty without dominance, intelligence without aggression, survival without spectacle. It is a reminder that evolution does not reward size or power alone, but awareness and cooperation. As sunlight fades and shadows stretch across the ground, a fairy wren settles briefly on a low branch. Its blue feathers catch the last light of day before vanishing into shadow. Tomorrow, the cycle begins again. Search, watch, warn, endure. In that small, brilliant body lives a strategy millions of years refined, proving that even the tiniest creatures can master survival in a dangerous world.